a moment, a season in my life. I put you in my plans. I did what I thought was right. I worked so hard just to watch it die. Sometimes you have to leave some things behind.
All right. Hey, it's Blastzone Mike, and today my guest is Allie Colleen. Now, let me tell you about this girl, okay? This young lady. Me and my wife decided we were going to go see Jelly Roll, and we found out she was on the bill. And the night before, or I guess it's 2 nights before, I talked to her manager, Bev, and she said, "Come up and see us, take pictures, all that." So we got us tickets to see Jelly Roll in Lexington. She's first act on. Amazing. Amazing. Just amazing. If you like Taylor Austin Die and you like artists like that, you're going to love Allie Colleen.
Oh yeah.
And I went up and told Bev, who I was, and she grabbed me and hugged me. And it
Yeah.
kind of freaked me out. I was like, holy
Yeah.
crap, I've never been treated like that. And,
Mm-hmm.
it was like your whole team was just amazing when we met them. And
Yeah.
you all were so just like letting your fans in. And I can tell why. I read a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I can tell why your fans say you're infectious because you are. You're just
No, people are just kind. People are just kind. But no, man, I'm stoked to be here. I'm stoked to be talking to you. The Jelly Tour was wild. The interactions that we got to have on the Jelly Tour were wild. The people were so kind. And yeah, that's Bev. Bev will invite you to stay at her house the day she meets you. Like she just takes care of people. She's a mom to her core, to everybody. She just takes care of everybody.
that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
let's kind of go back, okay, a little ways.
Okay.
What made you want to be a musician? What made you want to be a country artist?
I uh I have been writing music since I was like 8 years old, man. I don't know what it is. I just got this bug when I was little. And as an adult, I do imagine that there's a lot of stuff that I saw as a child that I found to be very encouraging, right? Like in the environment that I grew up in. But in
Mhm.
my memory, like my active memory as a child, like I just played music in my I shared a room with my two older siblings, and so I would sit in kind of like my closet was my little private space where like my siblings were going to yell at me for trying to sing that day, you know? And I just absorbed music just from the moment that I got here. I feel like it's just been my thing, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to make a career out of it so far, and hopefully will continue to. But I've been writing since I was 8. I started. It took a while for guitar for me. I'm not gonna lie. That thing's hard. It's my best
Mhm.
friend, but we don't have a good relationship, but we have a strong relationship. You know what I mean? So I started guitar when I was maybe like 14, and it was really hard for me. Um, and for context, like I'm 28 now. So I've been
Oh,
playing guitar and writing songs for a long time. And so I grew up in Oklahoma. I played soccer. I was an athlete, or tried to be. So I chose Belmont University when I was in like 8th grade, which was a college here in Nashville where I live now. And they have a program where you can get a degree in songwriting, whatever that means. And I said, yep. I said, yep, sign me up. So the goal was always to move to Nashville when I was done with high school. So I moved to Nashville at 17, and I've been here since, just working my tail off and trying to write music and trying to get music out there and trying to tour. And the Jelly Roll tour was the coolest thing we've ever done. I hope it's not the coolest thing I ever do, but even if it is, I'd be happy with it. That was so much fun.
what was the first in your mind? What was the first song that sparked your interest from an artist? What was it that?
I remember being little and hearing like those beautiful late 90s country narratives, right? Like Don't Take the Girl and like Three Wooden Crosses and like just those story songs that had those characters, right? And I was a very vividly imaginative child, so I just fell in love with all of these songs that just had these characters. Like I felt like it was just like reading a book, and I knew what they looked like, and I knew what like their backstory was, and everything. And it didn't matter if anyone else agreed on me. I just thought it was so cool to be a part of a story in that way and be able to sing it. Not like reading a book or something like that, but being able to like be a part of it. And so I just remember that early stuff. Um, that early stuff for me. I guess it was later stuff for them, obviously, but just that that whole little area of Don't Take the Girl and Austin and Three Wooden Crosses and those just
Oh yeah.
amazing story narratives where those were I ate that up. That was my stuff.
Well, when we were sitting there at the Jelly Roll show and we were listening to Ernest, I was trying to think of the song. I couldn't remember the name of the song, and he played it. And I told my wife, I said, "That's the song." I know that was a 90, that had been a 90s song or something like that. And he told the story that it was wrote for Doug Stone or something. And I was like, I told you it was a 90s song because you could pick out a 90s country song. I hate to say it this way, but it's true. You could pick out a 90s country song, but it's hard to pick out a 2000 song. If it was wrote, and never recorded, you can say, oh, that had to have been wrote in the 90s. And that Ernest song, I think it's with Lainey Wilson, maybe, I can't remember. And it is a 90s song. It was wrote for Doug Stone, but he never did record it. And then Ernest recorded it. I was like, wow, that's cool,
That's
because,
wild. I
you
Ernest set
know,
was I never got to actually watch. It was wild. I never got to actually see Shabuzi or Ernest set, but I could hear it like out in the mezzanine where like I did my meet and greets and my stuff.
uh huh.
And it was so wild to just like you come from Nashville and like here in Nashville, like when you're a Nashville player, like all you play are 4 hour cover sets. Like that's what we do here in Nashville is you don't get to play your own music and you play 4 hour cover sets. And so you don't often get to see like obviously unless you're going to like a concert you're not seeing an artist play original music. And so the coolest thing about Ernest set for me was it was a cover set but he wrote every single one of them and that was really cool to see. That was really cool to see a mainstream labeled artist opposed to songwriter right up there doing just a songwriter thing. And like I knew every single one of the songs and none of them were his and it was just that was a really cool perspective for me to have as a songwriter in like today's commercial world of music. So again, the whole tour was really cool. Was really cool to learn about for me.
What makes a good song?
Oh, that's a wild question. I don't know. I think you do. I think whatever your favorite song is in the planet, right? Whatever that song is that grabbed you, that saved your life, whatever. I might not think that's a good song. Doesn't
Hmm.
matter. Doesn't matter. You do. You make a good song. You care
Has
about
there
it.
has there been songs that have saved your life or
Yeah.
made you feel like you were more
Yeah.
important? Or
Yeah.
tell me a
A
little bit
lot of
about
them.
that because people need to know that people on the other side have these problems, but they can get through them. So if there's something, a song, you don't have to like say the song title, but just kind of tell people, how music uh, helps. That I guess that's the word I'm looking for.
Well, I would also like to go off of that in a broad spectrum, true, just really quick, and then I'll touch on your question.
Go ahead.
If you are out there looking for something to cling to anything, please. Just stay a little while.
Hmm.
Just for one moment. If you are looking for something to cling to, whether it's a song or a conversation at a coffee shop or a fortune cookie, I hope it works, man. Like, please cling to it. And I'm not speaking to you. I am speaking to you, but I'm speaking to you. Like, if I'm speaking to you, you know I'm talking to you. And I've written a lot of songs about this. I have a really big struggle with mental health. I have since I was little. And in a way that I feel like is maybe a little different, um, in the sense of songs have been saving my life, my whole life. I remember when I was a kid, and it didn't even have to be a song that's about something like that, but I remember the way that I would sit and sing the duet between Jamie O'Neill and Mark Wills, that I'm not going to do anything without you. Um, I would sit and sing that as if it was saving my life when I was little. Copper Line by James Taylor. I don't know what it is about that song, but it makes you want to stay on this planet. I really do. It makes you want to stay here. And then, like for me, I have a song on YouTube. I've never released it because it's a worship song. And that just, I worship in my own way. And so I have a song on YouTube called Close Enough. And that song saved my life as I wrote it. I wrote it when I was 17 or 18. Um, and there was very much a chance at that time that Allie didn't make it past 17 or 18. So Close Enough saved my life, and I hope that maybe it means something to somebody if you guys want to check it out on YouTube. Um, I have a song that I wrote with my best friend Carter Winter, and he put it out, and it's called The Other Side, and it's about exactly what you're talking about, but it's just about like the only way out is through. You know what I mean? Like the only way out is through. Like you just got to stay here a little longer. That's it. I don't have an answer for you, but you just got to stay a little longer.
Hmm.
And then the next project that we have coming up, we have a brand new project that I think you and I will talk about today, but the project that I'm writing right now, that'll come out either at the end of this year or next year. Um, I don't think it'll be called Miserable because I want it to be received, but the main song on it is called Miserable, but it's a beautiful song. And it doesn't feel as heavy as it sounds. But I am very active in that world of mental health. And I believe it, man. A song can save your life. A good meal can save your life.
Hmm.
Anything can save your life if you just allow it to, you guys. You just have to allow it to.
Now, people, now, fans, like I've seen, like I was at the Lexington show, and I've seen fans flock to you, young girls, lots of girls, that
Yeah.
do they come up to you and tell you your music saved my life, or your music spoke to me, or,
Yeah.
did you, I feel like you wrote that song for me.
I do. And I look for those girls. And there are songs that I wrote for me that I never even thought about another soul on this planet, right? And that can be the song that they're talking about.
Hmm.
Or or sometimes I get to find my girl. Like sometimes there's this song called Blame It on the Weather that is on my very first album. And it's I think the only song up to this point that I've released that I wrote just completely by myself. Um excuse me. And I don't know who that little girl is. I think there's a lifeline where I wrote that song about me, but at the time I didn't know that. And I looked for her for forever. And there's been 2 or 3 shows in the span of like 5 years where little girls came up to me and said, "Hey, blame it on the weather. Like that one's for me." And I'm just like, "I've been waiting to meet you, honey. Like you got this. You got this." It's the coolest thing on the planet, man. I can't explain it. I have a little. Well, I have 2 face tats. For some reason, nobody counts my spider web as a face tat. They say it's an ear tat. I think it's
I
a
didn't
face
know if
tat.
they were real or not. When I saw you, I was like,
Yeah.
are they real?
Yeah. Well, this one always looks wonky because when I put my makeup on, you can't always see it. So I always cover it with eyeliner. So it looks like it's
Yeah.
drawn on, but like, because it is, but it isn't. Like it's there. But all that to say, I keep a little eyeliner tube on me at my merch stand. And I just put little horseshoes on little girls' faces all night. They just have little face tats. And it's so cool. That was my favorite thing about the Jelly Tour. Was even young boys, like even young little men would come up as young as like 6 and 7, and they had all Jelly's face tats and
Oh,
like
yeah.
just like with makeup, like, and they just looked so cool and they looked so rad and it wasn't serious, you know what I mean? And I grew up wanting to look exactly like what I look like. I remember seeing a woman covered in tattoos when I was around that age, like 8 or 9, and just being like, I don't know what that is, but give me 2 of them. Like I want to look like that. That's amazing. So I've just always loved body art. I think it's very cool, and to get to be on a tour that everybody kind of looked nobody looked the same, but everybody looked the same. I thought that was really cool. I enjoyed being in that space.
It was, I have to tell you, I've been to thousands of concerts. I've seen thousands of people. I've interviewed thousands of people. But Jelly Roll, it's like going to church. It
Yeah.
was, it was the most amazing show I've ever seen in my life. And now I've got to go see him with Post Malone somehow. And then I got to
Oh
go
yeah.
see him. He's going to be in Lexington at the Red Rail Festival. They just announced yesterday. So I'm like, we got to go see that, Hope. So it's like, I'm all about let's get in the car and go see Jelly Roll wherever we can see him, because it's just it moves you right here. But it's not just him; it's the people he surrounds himself with, like you and Shabuzi and Ernest. It's like all these people coming together, and it's hard to explain. It's like, and he brings you out. He lets you shine too with him, and he lets Ernie shine with him and
Yeah.
Shabuzi. Like you
Yeah.
came out and you shined with him. You did like I think 2 or 3 songs with him, and I'm
I did
like,
the Jesse Murph duet, which was a blast. Until the last city, Jacksonville, I got to do "Save Me in the Rain."
oh man, I wish
Oh,
we could have seen that.
I'll cry. Don't even start with me. It was
Amazing,
oh,
amazing.
it was
I'm
so
gonna
that
cry.
water was
You're
so
gonna cry. I'm gonna
cold.
cry.
Keep
Sure,
it together, dog, okay? We're
it's
big, strong
crazy.
boys, you and I, okay?
Woo.
Oh, man, that water was so cold, and I'd do it again right now. Oh,
I saw the video from it. I seen it on YouTube.
yeah.
You know, I saw it on YouTube. But I mean, it's just amazing. It's like I told my wife laughed at me. I said, it's kind of like watching Michael Jackson's last thing where he was like, putting his show together
Yeah,
and
and
he
then
was
This Is
letting,
Me or something like that.
yeah, and
I watched the tour. Yeah.
he's letting all the musicians have their shine, and he goes up to guitar player and he tells you, he goes, this is your time to shine. And I was like, that's Jelly Roll,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
this is your time to shine. So you were so privileged to be on that tour,
Yeah.
and so I mean, he opened you up to a whole new realm of people, and it was like, wow, and all those people on that tour were Grammy nominated artists, just about.
The audiences were really special. I mean, you not in any disrespectful way or any belittling way, but that's just a group of misfits. You know what I mean? As far as like collectively, as far as like when you get the people who have followed Jelly since '04 in the same room as the people who have followed Jelly since 2022, when you get those crowds together, those are some misfits, man. You know what I
Oh
mean? Like
yeah,
those are some of the most outlying, you know, diehard fan base people to the most commercial following fan base people, and I think that's what I really enjoy about Jelly's crowd is, and this was said on the tour. Someone came out to watch the tour. There was an artist, and they were like, I have never heard the F word dropped so much on one stage by all four artists and also had so many children in the audience. And I was like, "No, dude, I know. I hear you, but I'm going to be honest with you. I might have had a couple like anywhere from 8 to 12-year-olds come up and like talk like a pirate to me, but they never said anything rude. You know what I mean? They were never
yeah,
mean. I might have had an 8-year-old come up and said, F yeah, that was you know what I mean? But he didn't
yeah,
come up and tell me that he didn't like my hair or that my outfit was silly. You know what I mean? Like, those
yeah.
kids just spoke in kindness, even if they talked like pirates sometimes. And it was just a little group. I've never felt like so at home. I really didn't. The fans were so kind and the audience were so kind. And you could tell that they had been waiting on this for Jelly for a long time also, which is what I love about Jelly's crowd. Is it's not someone who showed up to treat themselves to a Jelly show.
Hmm.
Like they showed up just to get to see Jelly get to receive what Jelly should have been receiving this whole time. Like it's just it's a really cool community of an audience, whereas most other audiences that I've ran into that are on that level, that are that big, that are that much of like an arena sized audience, it doesn't feel as homey as those audiences did. It was very cool. Privilege is an understatement to say that was an experience that I got to have.
Well, one last thing. When you met us in Lexington, my wife was wearing a Taylor Austin Die shirt,
Hmm.
and you said, "Oh my God, I love her," and you started telling us a story
We
about
talked
Taylor
about my
Austin.
orange hat.
Yeah, you were talking about how you hoped that she didn't think that you stole something from her or something when you were
Hmm.
talking to us,
Yep.
and we were like, "Oh, she's amazing." She's just like you. She was, so welcoming, and just, we saw her in her hometown. We got to see her in Jackson, Kentucky,
Hmm.
at a little festival, and she was just amazingly nice person, amazingly nice. And one thing that she's got going on that you got going on, we're going to talk about, is she's got vinyl coming out, and you do too.
Yes.
So tell me
Yeah.
about how that came about.
Yeah. Tay's a Nashville kid with us here. Taylor, I wrote with Tay for a couple years. Well, I mean, it's been we've known each other 4 years. We've only got to write maybe once or twice, honestly. Um, but Taylor, the first time I met her, she spent 15 minutes trying to tell me her name, because I'm from Oklahoma. I'm from Oklahoma, and I'll never forget. We were at Well, now Live Oak isn't there anymore, but at the time it was Frisky Frogs, I think. And she came up to me and she
Mhm.
goes, "I'm Tyler," and I said, "Hi, Tyler. I'm Allie. It's nice to meet you." And she goes, "No, no, no, Tyler." And I said, "I got you, baby. Nice to meet you, Tyler." I think I walked off, to be honest. I was just like, we were all in this area, and then I saw her later, and I said, "Tyler, my dog, how you doing, babe?" She goes, "Tyler." I said, "I don't know why this keeps happening." And finally, she looked at me and she goes, "This happens a lot. I'm trying to tell you that you're not saying my name right." And I said,
No.
"Oh, what is your name?" She goes, "My name's Tyler." And I said, "Is your name Taylor?" She said, "Yes." I said, my sister's name is Taylor, and you're saying Tyler. She said, nope, we're saying the same thing. I said, cool. And we've been buds since then. But that was my first meeting with Taylor, and that was 11, no, that was like 9, 8 years ago. And then, so I'm a big fan of Taylor, but we do have vinyl coming out. It'll be my first time getting to print it. I actually was going to release this EP and the vinyls before the Jelly tour, but I wasn't allowed to sell any hard merch on the tour, which
Oh,
is so for anyone who is unfamiliar, like hard merch is anything that generates income outside of its own sale, right? So like for every vinyl sale, there's also like songwriting royalties that are being paid out and like other kind of things that are being paid out other than the money that you're handing me. And that's hard merch opposed to like a t-shirt or a koozie or something that's soft merch.
uh-huh.
So I wasn't allowed to sell hard merch on the tour. So it just didn't make sense to put all that money up front to print everything and then not be able to sell it for a couple months other than online. So this has been a long time coming for me, all that to say. So it's my first vinyl. I'm very excited. It is an EP, so it's only 5 songs. Um, and then I love the song order so much and I love it cohesively when you listen from start to finish. So I didn't want to separate it in half and do a side A and a side B. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to mess up the flow of how it all goes together. So I just made side B a little bonus audio track. And we haven't talked about it. So this is my only little outlet that gets to really know what that audio track is. I wish it was a song. It's not that cool. If I loved Allie, which I hope you guys love Allie, I would think it was really cool. Like for me, if this was an Ashley McBride vinyl and the sixth track was what the sixth track is, I would love it. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as me promoting myself, I don't know if it's that cool. It's just a it's just a voice message from me to you. And the only way
Oh,
you can hear it or like know what it is just to get the vinyl. And it's literally just me thanking you for listening to my project. Like that's all it is. But I think it's very cool. And the whole project is just called Sincerely. So it's a really intimate album. And for me, it's just the deep cuts, right? So these are the 5 songs that would have never made the album. So
so
it's a very
sincerely, or is it sincerely Rolling Stone?
so Sincerely and Rolling Stone are the same song.
Okay.
So that's why the album is called Sincerely, like Rolling Stone. And then if you look on the track list, the track is just called Rolling Stone, parentheses,
Oh,
Sincerely.
okay.
So it doesn't make sense to anybody but me. It doesn't have to. But it's just sincerely like, hey, this is just a personal kind of like if I was gonna share my personal Dropbox with you, you know what I mean, that I'm not gonna put out to radio, that's what this would be. So it's just
Well,
a really personal little project for me.
well, I've got 4 of the songs, and I listen to them, and I've heard 2 before. The other 2, I don't think anybody's heard before. So, Bev, thank you for sending them to me because they were amazing. I listened to them with my wife yesterday, actually,
You liked
and
it?
oh yeah, definitely liked it. I'm gonna have to give me a copy of the vinyl. Do you think I'm not gonna get a copy of the vinyl? Come on,
I
you
would like
know?
to say yes, but again, we're marketing this whole thing as such a private or like a personal thing. So we're only doing pre-orders, and
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
of our
I'm
pre-orders,
gonna order one. I'll order one. I'm gonna order one. I'll order one probably
yeah.
first this month.
If you pre-order one, you got one. I'm just saying
Yeah,
we this isn't going to
exactly.
be something like CDs where we're printing like 1,000 units and like selling them for the year. Outside of our pre-orders, we only printed 100 units, so it's
Oh
really
wow.
small. So I'll let it say if you pre-order it, you're guaranteed one. If you don't
Is
pre-order
it
it,
gonna
then
be? Is it gonna be a color or is it just gonna be black?
my vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't know. You gotta get it.
Oh.
You can't
Oh,
know.
so you haven't told anybody
I
yet,
will
huh?
tell you though, it's not what you think because it isn't what I thought. It was the only part of the
Oh,
project that I got the proof back and said, "This is what we're doing." And they said, "What do you think?" And I said, "This isn't what I thought." And I said, "Allie, you let those reins go a little bit. Let's do this. I think this could be really cool." So it looks different than I expected it to, and I'm
I
very proud of
can't
it. I
wait.
designed both the covers. But I was surprised when I got the actual physical record and saw what it looked like. But I designed the whole cover of it.
Can't
But I'm
wait.
excited.
I have yours and Taylor's at the same time, so
I love
it'll be
Taylor. I
cool.
love that you love Taylor. And I love that you push Taylor and I love that you shout her out. Anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Taylor Austin Dye, absolutely incredible artist. Has
Well, one thing I'll tell you about me.
some of the coolest story songs on the planet, that girl. So check out Taylor. She's a badass.
My favorite song by her is probably "Rest in Pieces." I love the video. But I'll tell you a story real quick. I don't like female country artists. And I really fell in love with Taylor and I really fell in love with your music. And the only other female artist I really like that does country music is the girl from Band Perry. I
I'll
like,
tell you a
I like,
story.
okay, you tell me then.
We and I usually don't speak for anybody other than myself, but I'll take the team on this one. We don't care. I cannot tell you how much I don't care if you don't like female country artists. And I only say that because it's the number one thing that we get told when we come off stage. Do you know how many men have come to us after our show and go, and this is what they sound like, I swear, every time. Their name's usually Kyle. They go,
No,
they go, I don't really like female artists. You're pretty good. Thanks,
I
Kyle.
don't think you're pretty good. I think you're
Thank you.
amazing. I think
I
you're. I
know,
think.
but I think
I
it's
can tell
always
you. I think. I
it's
think.
such a
I
wild
think Allie
sentiment.
Colleen. I'll say it. I think Allie Colleen is fucking amazing, and I'll say
Eh,
fuck all I want because it's my show. So
I like
I.
that.
I don't care. I think you're absolutely fucking amazing,
I like
and
that.
it's like when I came to Jelly Roll to see you.
I
Hope
still
come
can't
to
believe I
Jelly
got to be
Roll
on
to
that
see Jelly
tour.
Roll. Huh?
I said I still can't believe I got to be on that tour.
Yeah, I mean, and I told you, I said we were supposed to come to Manchester, and
Hmm.
Lexington. You said, "Oh, you didn't miss nothing. Nobody was there."
No,
Remember?
you would have been. Yeah, you would have been one of 26 people,
Yeah, that's what you told
and
me.
we would have partied.
Well, I don't know why. I just couldn't get there or something. I don't know what was going on that night, but
It was like it was like 2 years ago. It was a while ago.
I'm trying to get her to go to freaking. You got a
But we
show
would
coming
like to
in.
have another shot at that venue.
You're going at. You're going to be coming to Ohio or Indiana or someplace.
I'm coming to
Like,
Ohio. I'm coming to Ohio with Carter Winter at Kimba Live.
yeah, and I told my wife, I said we got to go see Allie up there, and she's like,
Yeah.
well, let me see if I can get off. Let me see if I can do this, and let me see if I can do that. And I'm like, okay, well. She's like, if she
March
comes closer,
15th.
maybe.
March 15th. I don't know if your wife works weekends or not, but I think it's a Saturday. It might be a Friday, but I think it's a Saturday.
Well, that's cool. But so, what else you got going on other than the album? And then you were telling me a little bit about yeah. Now I'm coming on out maybe in what fall?
Oh yeah, so I'll go right back again. I've had this EP ready for a while, almost a year at this point. So I'm ready to get back in the
Uh-huh.
studio. I wrote for the last year kind of thing. So I'm already ready personally to start working on the next project. As far as when that comes out commercially or when we start sharing any of those songs or whatever, it'll probably
Hmm.
be kind of later in the year. But I am working on new music right now, which I'm really excited about. We're really hoping for another tour this year. But right now we have a bunch of headlining shows, which we're really excited about for the year up on my website. Just Allie Colleen Music. We play everywhere all the time. Bev and I get to go on our first cruise this year, you guys. So if you want to come on a cruise with us for Halloween, it's a country cruise line. So there's tons of artists. There's tons of artists. Maggie Ball, Jared Neiman, um, Nico Moon. It's like a country cruise line. So it's like 20 or 30 artists, like all different stages, all whatever. But if you guys want to go on a cruise, I'm going to go on my first cruise this year. I'm very excited. But
And
just
you're
trying to
playing
stay
a
on the
country
road.
festival. Don't forget to tell people you're playing a country festival.
Yeah, we're playing a country concert in Ohio for in July
Yeah.
12th. So we're playing country concert for that. And then we'll like headline like the Iowa State County Fair or the Iowa State Fair, and then we play like a bunch of county fairs this summer. We just stay on that festival circuit and just try and keep growing what we're doing.
And if people want to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah. For like for business inquiries, if you guys want to book us or have us at a private party or anything like that, my website, alliecolleenmusic.com, I have a contact page. You can reach out to Bev. Bev and I run everything. You're either going to be talking to Bev or you're going to be talking to me. And then as far as like socials go and all that stuff, I run all my socials, but I run Instagram the most in the sense of like if you need to get a hold of me or if you have a question or something, like you can DM me on Instagram. I'll see it. Um, and I'm on TikTok and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And I try and post differently on all of them. So just trying to stay busy this year and trying to stay on the road. And we love private parties, and our budget is whatever yours is, you guys. So just have me. I'll come over to your house. I'll play you some tunes. I'll have a campfire. Why not? Why
You
not?
As far as like this one last thing where people know, are you releasing a new video anytime soon or not?
I don't think so. We've only got to do one so far, and it was for a song called "While We're Still Friends," which has Lee Bryce on it, but he's not in the video. It's my first video. I just haven't found a way to make that financially make sense for me yet, since I don't make any money off music videos yet. But we would really love to, and the only way that we're going to be able to do that is just to keep growing what we're doing. So if you guys like what I'm doing and you want to see more stuff, like please follow me. Please tell your friends to follow me, all that kind of stuff. But really excited to get in the studio and make music, and would love to do a video this year. But it might be 2026. But would hopefully love to do a video this year.
Well, thank you for your time. Thank you
Of course.
for being so down to earth. And like I said, you know, I love what you do, and I'll say to anybody that wants to know, I come to Jelly Roll to see you,
Thank
and you did not disappoint, and
Yes.
it was just full on from the minute you walked on the stage.
Thank
And not to
you.
mention your band. Your band was pretty amazing too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
No, the
those
guys
guys
carried me
were,
through that whole thing. Those are kind dudes too. I'm very proud to say I have a kind band. So I'm very
you
proud
know,
of them. Thank you for not only making a point to come to Jelly, because I know socially for me that stuff's hard. So thank you for coming out. I know you go to thousands of shows and you like concerts, but that stuff's hard for me personally. So I always am really appreciative when people make the time to come out and to bring their spouse and to make a thing out of it. And then also to follow up and to talk to me about it today. Thank you for that.
If only we could stop this moment. Forget the clock, pretend it's broken. And by the way, you look great tonight. Looking and they'd never know it, but we both know where this is going. But we don't wanna say goodbye. So while we're still friends, while we're still here, before the last thread of us forever disappears, before we let go, give me your hand. Let's make the most of what we can while we're still friends. Remember our first trip to Austin? You took me to your favorite concert, and I can still hear you laugh. So while you got your arms around me, why don't we make one more memory that feels just like that? While we're still friends, while we're still here, before the last thread of us forever disappears, before we let go, give me your hand. Let's make the most of what we can while we're still friends. While we're still friends, while we're still here, before the last thread of us forever disappears, we're not giving up, just giving in. So just make it as much love that we can while we're still friends. Friends. I'm a a Sunday morning sinner in a white church, on my knees praying till it hurts, in the back row with all the other lost souls. I'm a double shot of whiskey in a dive bar, a cowboy looking for a wild card I can take home. For the sun, I'm long gone.